No, the Luck Blade is not nearly as cool as the one you had before.
No, it's not. Welcome back to Crit Couch. I'm Michael.
And I'm Skylar.
Still playing Soul Blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were really happy just gazing at each other, but I may get old soon.
You just...
This is like, this village is so on point.
Yeah.
Like, he's all in. He's like, we were really happy just gazing at each other. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna go find someone else. Like, she got to play that field for the 2.5 years she's got.
Yeah.
Make sure you search Lanel very carefully. If you
Whoa,
move,
what?
that's the place we were.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
If you move too fast, you may overlook things.
I do like this sense of like, it's like, tomorrow's my birthday, and you just like wake up and you're like, oh fuck, I'm old.
Oh no! Everything's gone gray.
It's at my hip.
Ah! There's a prison over there. Well, there are no actual bad people. I guess it's just a punishment room. That's the definition of a prison.
The Lucky Blade.
Yep, already got it, man. Already got it.
Is there anything in there?
There will be a sleeping mushroom in there.
No, okay.
Hey, dude. Aha, there we go.
Oh, right, you're gonna jump into his dream.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the dream rod on the head thing.
You wanna run that by me again?
Dream rod on the head. I will not leave you and go off to other places, I promise. As proof of my promise, I buried my belongings in the Aurora Ridge. Yeah, I already stole your belongings, dude. I hope someone will find them. Yeah, I'm wearing that armor right now.
That was kind of sad.
Oops, I must have fallen asleep. I was dreaming of my childhood. I was dreaming of 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yep. Used to be a child just half a year ago.
Oh my god. Wait, are you talking to the snail?
Yeah.
Sure you are.
Dude, we started this by talking to flowers, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Loon.
Yeah.
We haven't been here yet, right? Oh, okay.
No, this is a different. So this is the way to the underground lake, but it's a section that we hadn't gotten to yet of this area that's like the precursor to the lake. So like, we're back in like Lanol, where we found the sword.
Oh god. Oh Jesus.
Ah, the Skittles.
They're so aggressive.
It was just being a dick. Okay, the red ones.
You know,
these
I was doing
guys.
this earlier.
No, go ahead.
I was doing this earlier, but I'm grooving to this music.
Yeah. They're, the kind of like, the Super Nintendo. Man, we're just like hitting a lot of stuff very early on. But
we've been all over the place today, man.
Well, so the Super Nintendo, and I know this is going to come up in a later episode because, at some point you just can't help but continue.
We're gonna repeat ourselves. Oh no.
But so the Super Nintendo did not use a sound chip in the same way that the NES did, or even I think.
Oh no, they're lapping at each other.
So like the Sega Genesis also. Now I think it had samples, but it also used a sound chip. Like it was a Yamaha sound chip, I want to say.
I'm sorry. What's a rotator?
Well, it's a piece of your shoulder.
Yeah.
This is just a thing you hold, and it does that.
I like it.
Yeah. Now we're going to Loon.
But sound.
So look, that's a big old lake.
Yeah.
So the NES had a sound chip, just like the Sega Genesis did, and that's why, like, when you hear music and stuff on those systems, they all kind of sound like they come from the same area, because it's one chip making certain sounds with and I know Skylar knows some of this because he's done sound stuff, but
sine, band, noise.
Like a triangle and a square wave, which is that they're called that just because of the shape of the wave. That kid is in prison.
Why is he in prison?
I mean, it's a punishment chamber, so we'll find out.
I forgot to tie my shoes one day, and then
Why would you do that?
Knocked over a pot. Really, that's the only reason I'm in here. I did it to myself, really.
I guess when you only live 2.5 years, knocking over a flower pot matters. Like,
Yeah, it took 6 generations to make that pot.
Right? That's actually a really interesting point. Yeah, like there are things that I own that took months to create somewhere. Like I own like handmade stuff.
Yeah.
But so the Super Nintendo didn't have strictly a sound chip, and actually, like if you're into to like music creation and stuff like that, if you've ever gone and like looked for how to replicate SNES sounds, you've probably run into this. But it used primarily samples. Now they're digital samples, and a lot of times, and so it's not like if you're listening to like actual samples of, say, like a guitar or something, where they've actually recorded each string at lots of different notes and frequencies and whatever. But what that means is everything sounds relatively unique, at least between like game to game or company to company, because they often made up their own samples. And in fact, that leads to some interesting stuff. If we ever play Earthbound, this will come up again, because Earthbound straight up, not just like instrumentally, but actually used some samples of actual songs. Like there's like a Sousa March, there's like some Beatles songs.
Really?
Oh yeah. Somebody on YouTube went and ID'd a lot of it. So if you're interested in that, you can find like, or if you look up like Earthbound samples or whatever on YouTube, you can find it.
I like that magic. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. But let's see. Okay, there's that. Oh wait, let's talk to her because she might have experience for us. I'm watching the world. Here, take this. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but bottom line is that's why a lot of music and stuff in the Super Nintendo era started sounding really unique, especially on the Super Nintendo, because they literally made stuff for the express purpose of whatever they needed, whatever kind of timbre of sound they wanted. Like that was their variation.
Were there more enemies?
Nope. See, 0 layers. I couldn't remember if those little statue guys had a layer associated with them or not. But yeah, it does make it really interesting listening to Super Nintendo music from game to game, because, you know, knowing just how deliberate it was versus, which isn't to say that like NES music wasn't deliberate, but they had to do a lot more trickery with what they had to kind of make interesting sound effects with their music. Like they had to, because they only had those like 4 sound channels, and each sound channel had a specific wave type, which had a limited range of what it would ever sound like. If you wanted something like echo or reverb, there wasn't necessarily a way to just make it echo. A lot of times they had to kind of find different ways of like faking it by offsetting notes by a unit of time and doing weird stuff.
Oh, man. It was the frontier back then.
Oh yeah.
It's like, just fuck it.
Yep. Man, one thing, you know, talking about like modern conveniences in games that we don't really think about, quick select of like spells and stuff,
yeah.
like being able to use like L and R buttons to
quickly cycle
yeah.
through. Well, and on the same thing, I know you just killed that little ice producer guy. I find it really fascinating that they actually telegraph where the ice is about to show up, as opposed to just dumping it on you.
Yeah, well, I mean, otherwise you wouldn't know. I mean, that's kind of an interesting, I think, throwback point to the concept of like Nintendo Hard or whatever, which, you know, a lot of people are really kind of like big on the idea of like Nintendo Hard being some sort of like emblem of achievement or whatever. What's
Damn,
up?
girl, I'm Nintendo Hard.
Oh,
It's just
so
like I had to take it
unfair,
for a test.
and you come out of nowhere. Like what? Oh, that was actually unintentional. I was talking about birds and Ninja Gaiden, but well then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
Oh man.
Oh damn, that was actually unintentional.
Oh good.
But that actually is part of the problem with like the idea of Nintendo Hard, because there are Nintendo games that have like some legitimate difficulty to them in terms of predicting stuff.
Yeah.
And then there is the difficulty that, and I get it from like an identity standpoint of like, I beat this thing because people like the idea that they beat it because it was almost unfairly hard in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's an achievement.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's the right metric for design. Because like if the difficulty comes from the game being poorly balanced or poorly structured, and you
God, I love these little people.
and you accept that as the way things should be for difficulty, then you're really, you're limiting your audience. And I mean, yes, there is some like pride in having made it through it, but there's also like that weird line where it's like, what was it? Was it really worth it for that? Like, you know, if you get to the top of a mountain, but like you break both your legs and you suffer lung damage, it's like, yeah, you made it to the top of the mountain, but like at what cost? Like,
what analogy was that?
Well, so stuff like, you know, like climbing, like, what is it, Mount Everest or something, where there are literally dead bodies littering the path. Like, there's just bodies that are up Mount Everest for people that tried to challenge it.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's
because
terrifying.
it's a hard ass mountain. Like, it is not something that you take lightly. I mean, and even, you know, they have guides and stuff, but that you can't account for weather. You can't account for everything that'll happen. You can't account for, you know, if the atmosphere, the lack of atmosphere is too extreme for your body to handle.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I respect the need for achievement, but, you know, we didn't like build that mountain, right? That was just a thing that nature put there. We build games. We have the option to not do things that are overly bad just for the sake of doing them that way.
Well, and that's like I definitely enjoy difficulty, but I don't like tedious things, nor do I really like things that feel unfair. And that's, you know, we were talking about like the Dark Souls games and stuff, I think like in last episode. That's like I'm playing through Sekiro and I have yet to come across something that actually felt unfair. Usually when I die and I start cursing, I'm actually cursing at myself because it's like, yep, screwed that up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Games like Celeste, which I don't think you've played Celeste, but
No.
it's been a fairly like popular kind of quasi. It's sort of difficult platformer.
Wait, talk to this kid in his. Oh, you can't.
I can't. Well, we'll get to talk. I think actually we get to talk to them a bit later.
Okay.
But right now we've got a sleeping mushroom to talk to and touch.
Show it your mushroom shoes.
This is my hometown.
This one tiny little outcrop.
No, this is actually kind of cool. Like the mountain winds carried my spores and now we live there. So like,
That's kind of neat.
yeah, like the idea of like this is my home village.
I like
you
how
know?
he uses like the royal we, or is it just like a hive mind? And
Well, you know, I don't know. There's like multiple little mushroom dudes and stuff here. And what's up, man?
we are legion.
The mountain winds carried my spores and now we live there. Derp, derp. Make sure you don't walk around in a dream or you will get lost. It's the level we were just in.
Yeah, it's weird.
Let's see. We'll come back over here. But yeah, difficulty and stuff like that.
It's definitely been something I've seen a lot of conversation about lately, because I mean sometimes, especially at the moment, what we're seeing is that, you know, difficulty comes in some ways at the cost of accessibility, and I think you brought that up a little bit earlier too.
There is that, and you know, Tell you what, I'm gonna hold that thought for just a second because we're close to the end of this episode.
Yeah, we'll.
I'm gonna
continue on the next
go.
one.
I'm gonna go open up that last little guy that I opened up here. No, where were you? Talk about getting lost in a dream. Get
Yeah.
lost in the goddamn real world. Like, here we go. Yeah, that was the one that I opened because there's this.
Ice.
I think it's a bone.
Oh, is it?
Oh, you know what it is? No, it's ice. I think you're right. Come on, bats. All right, next time on Crit Catch, we're going to kill these stupid bats.
Yeah.
All right, next time on Crit Catch. Fuck you, bats.
Goddamn bats.